Yeah, so here we go again. It is already, I believe, the next day. Yes, it is Thursday, the 8th of August. For most of this, when I say today, I will be referring to Wednesday, the 7th of August, 2024. For the Simply for the fact it's only 21 past midnight, so of the actual today, not much has happened. Whereas the today I'll be using and referring to, yesterday that is, um, quite some stuff happened, I guess, which I need to digest, which is why I'm here. Hello there. I'm Ben. This is my therapy substitute. Yeah. First off, people talk about doing this kind of stuff for clout. I just want to be clear. This is not for clout. For I'd not have done it. I just talk about doing it. Um, Sorry for the shit mic positioning. There we go. That's less bad. Um, and I'm not talking about it to rile myself up. In fact, I've made quite a lot of mistakes and could have done way better. Um, it's just, perhaps it'll inspire someone. Of all three of you watching, thank you very much for doing so, by the way. Uh, I came here, which is the Central Park in Berlin, Tiergarten. It's got a long straight right through the middle of it. To go for my walk, just because I hadn't closed my exercise ring, I believe. I may have, because I may have showered, but I fancied a walk. And I need to get out of the house from doing all the CG I've been working on for my bachelor's thesis film. When I arrived, there was... This is the big whoopsie on my end. I should have acted better, I guess. I saw a car which looked like it had an accident, but it seemed like it was static and it might have been there for 24 or more hours. And at that time, I hadn't figured it was fairly recent. Apparently, the plot had already been at that time. Then again, I don't know for certain. So I went for my walk. I only walked 2k. It kind of was in the back of my mind the entire time. Me seeing that car, then some people not far from it, and some other cars not far from it with even more people. So once I was done with my walk, I returned and offered my assistance. The plot had in fact been very well at that time. Quite a while before, they were not helpful. Sadly, not much surprise. Turns out it was this family on their first day of their holiday. Great first day of a holiday. That had been rammed by one of these leased Mercs driven by people who can only afford them and nothing else in life and can't afford the petrol to be driving much. In what seemed like a street race, because there was two of those Mercs, C63, E63, G63, whatever, the AMG Mercs, that had collided, and one of them had initially apparently collided with that family's car, to the point where it was parked much as I am right now, but to the point where the rear axle is still dislocated on the car. I can actually see it just down the road. The family father's sitting in it waiting for someone to show up to tow him and get him another car, I believe. Not sure. But the car's total. It's a write-off, that's for sure, because the rear axle is dislocated to the point where one of the wheels don't sit where wheel is supposed to be. The wheel arch is empty. And both shocks had been removed. And they were not moving at the time. They were static. And they were rammed so hard, they were rammed into a pillar which was presumably a couple of meters in front of where they would have been, because that's where the skid marks are. And again, I'm not a forensic analyst. And these guys who'd rammed them just shrugged it off and, oh yeah, it happens, insurance will cover. Which I guess is a mindset some people have of, I may have ruined someone else's day, but I don't care because insurance will make them whole. Which is just a mindset I can't really understand or comprehend or figure out. I don't know. Sorry for the cut, by the way. I ran out of storage, so I had to delete some of the previous solo therapy sessions. It's just, yeah, okay, people need hobbies, but street racing is very much so outlawed in this country. It's just the plot don't give enough of a shit unless people die. I mean, these people luckily aren't dead. Good news, I guess. The older child, the daughter, she got some whiplash out of it. They ain't gone to hospital because they didn't have the opportunity to, because an ambulance came and said, oh, I can take it to hospital, but then no one would have been with the car and the stuff, you know. So, nah. But I guess good news is it's mainly material damage for totaled Opel Zafira, Vauxhall Zafira. Fairly new one, 8 years old or so. Severe damage on at least one Merc and slight damage on another. Then again, with things like that, if you do that, I mean, first off, in Germany is outlawed, so legally you could get up to 5 years prison. But the plot didn't seem to give a shit, according to the guy, which I'll believe from what I know of the plot and how people drive in the city, how few shits they must give for people to continuously drive that way. But it's just, you know, it seemed ludicrous for... I don't get it, man. Like, the right thing is to help in the first place, but the right thing in the first place is on a 3-lane road to not street race into parked cars next to the road. I mean, how hard can it be? It's 3 lanes going each way. I mean, it's like 9 meters of road surface width going each way. How moronic can you be to ram something that is parked next to that? I just can't understand it, you know. Actually, I'm not leaving. I'll actually continue staying here, but I'll just get out and get my snacks from the back because I forgot before I started. So anyways, offered my help. First it was a matter of collecting rubbish and pieces. Of course I have bin bags aboard, because why would I not have bin bags aboard, you know. Then it was just a matter of being there for them. The younger kid, their son, also started crying at one point, understandably so. Must have been rather traumatic experience, so I gave him a proper hug and some tissues, with the parents' blessing, the mother's blessing. Initial L. I'll most certainly forget their names by tomorrow, which is horrendous. And when I say tomorrow, I mean the actual today, but next waking phase. I offered them some water to drink, some food. They were set because they were holiday. They were supposed to be on holiday. Now the family is mostly in the hotel they booked into. They were booked into it for the night beforehand already. For tonight they were booked in beforehand. So it was just a matter of getting them there, and because I only have 3 seats, 1, 2 and a half, I couldn't take a family of 4. And they had quite a lot of stuff. The stuff weren't a problem because I can just stick the stuff in the back of the car, you know, which is what we've done. But first trip was the father and the daughter. Daughter remained with the stuff, drove the father back, then took the mother and the son to that hotel. This is only 10k away. I mean, for me, it's pleasure driving anyways, you know. And the father's still with the car, which is just in my reach of sight from here, I guess. I can see it down there. He's waiting for someone to come and tow him. I highly suspect they could just leave it and have it abandoned till tomorrow, because realistically in this city no one's going to nick it because there's broken cars all over the place all the time. Then again, it's broken to the point where it's not lockable, because I believe the passenger side rear glass and the rear glass are both broken, because, surprise, they got rammed in the back left side whilst being stood still. And the thing is, I don't like talking about helping people. I rather like doing it, but here I am talking about it, you know, so it just feels odd to me. They offered to pay for my petrol, diesel, whatever, and so on. I said, nah, thanks, I'm all set, I'm happy to help you. The only thing you can do is, if you in the future see someone who need help, be so kind and help them. Pay it forward, you know. But they did give me these oblate waffles. I don't know. Hazelnut wafers from Czechia, because it is a Czechian family, a Czech Republic family. I'd given my number to the mother just because, you know, you never know when you see again in life. Man sieht sich immer zweimal im Leben. You always see one another twice in life. There's a German saying, and I believe it's probably also an English one, but I don't know the wording for that one. And the dad later given me his visit card when I dropped off the daughter and the stuff. So that's something, you know. But in the end of the day, realistically, even today, the actual today, not yesterday, today, I'm never going to see them again, and I'm not going to reach out to them. It's just because I ain't done it for a favour for staying in Czechia at some point in time in my life. I just done it because they needed help, man. I mean, come on. How hard can it be, you know? I just happened to see they needed help, but I happened to take a 2-kilometre walk, almost half an hour, well, 20 some odd minutes, to digest they needed help, which is what I'm really bummed about. I wish I would have recognised that sooner, because it could have saved them a lot of hassle. But, nah, you know. I've made very sure to tell the guy, the father, make sure to not get screwed by the insurance. Apparently the plod took note and everything, but they didn't even give him a receipt of the interaction, which I find a bit odd, but nah, you know, that's just the way the plod are, I guess. I don't know. Snack today is these Czechian hazelnut wafers. I think I've had this before. Good stuff. Tastes even better when it's for free, you know. Today was the first day of their holiday, and I believe they had more than 10 days planned. They had bicycles on the back, one of which is 2 months old. Brand spanking new bicycle, you know. Being on the back and having been rammed in the back left, bicycles are all trashed. I mean, one of them might have a salvageable frame in front, but the others are all totally trashed. And sadly, I highly suspect they'll never see the money from insurance. I didn't tell them this, and I wouldn't know because I've never had to interact with an insurance in that way. But somehow it feel off. It's just not great. The Mercs were towed by pickup by a tow truck rather quickly. After I arrived, I don't know how long they stood before I arrived, admittedly, but still, you know. And it's just crazy how you can manage to, on a road that is straight for several kilometres, come from the middle lane, which is where the skid marks started, so they might have started in the left lane. A car just driven by with no lights. That is more than slightly concerning. They might start in the left lane, but the skid marks start in the middle lane. I took a couple of pictures, just cover your arse, extended, cover everyone's arse policy. And I can't fathom how one could manage to, from the left or middle of the road, cross an entire lane of traffic, ram a car that's parked so hard, the rear axle dislodges. I mean, come on. You can't have been doing fiddy and the plod don't give a shit. It's just, I'm disappointed in our system. Because the system works if enough components of it work. Depending on how many redundancies you have, levels of redundancy, you need fewer components to work overall. Now, I believe our societal system have quite a few redundancies. Then again, enough components of it appear to not be working to the point where the person who rammed them will be sitting in another car by the end of the week with the option of ramming someone else again. I just can't fathom it. I mean, how hard should it be taking away someone's license, besides the fact you don't need a license if you're driving in the city or if you're from the city driving anywhere, or both, is at least what it appears like to me more and more of the time. We just had a car drive by about half an hour past midnight with all the lights off. How can you be fit to drive and not notice your lights are off? How can you have your lights off and have no one tell you? There's other cars. Put your high beams on. Tell them, oi, put your lights on. I just don't see how the system is supposed to work in the medium to long run. Then again, I wouldn't want the responsibility of changing it, which means all I'll do is whine. I believe our system is screwed too much by the reliability of its components to be salvageable, which is kind of a brutal statement, but I believe it's pretty true. I wouldn't mind a system where there is just this is the philosophical issue, where there's just people I deem of a good character. Then again, who says I am the one to judge if someone is of a good character or not? Because if I am the one to determine that, we do not have a democracy. In the end of the day, that's what our system is built on. Once upon a time, and supposedly the Plod are supposed to be whom Parliament would stand for the characters of, and the representatives in this representative democracy. Then again, as much the deal of if you don't make it worth doing, or if you give too much grief to the people doing it, you won't have the people doing the job who you would want to have do the job. Which is, I guess, what the case is here. You know, I wouldn't want to be a Plod. I'd be too good at it. And the sad thing is, I'm saying this laughing, but it's actually probably pretty much true. I reckon I'd be too good a Rozer to become one, just because the system is built with lenience on the Rozer side, which means there is power on the Rozer side, which means if there is a way they can do less work, they'll do it, which is not a great system. Just kicking the shit, I believe is the phrase. But I would like to believe that if a Rozer deems someone safe to drive after they've rammed someone who was static and not even on the road, that Rozer should take some of any of or all of the blame for any of the future accidents of the driver after they're deemed to be safe for the road. Because in that case, there'd be stakes for the Rozer in not doing their job. Then again, there isn't. I don't know. Yeah, but I actually spent a solid 2 hours with these people. Found them their tow hook. Haven't gotten towed yet, but got a flatbed tow truck coming in some hours. Maybe even from Czechia, I'm not sure. With the time span, it sounded like it could be from Czechia, to be fair. And I missed it before I walked 2k. That's my problem with this situation. I can't claim to be a good character after having seen that and walked the other direction for going on my walk because it was the other side of the road. Like, I'm expecting more of myself. I should be better. I should be doing better. I just can't even, I should see that and hop right on to help them. Then again, no good deed goes unpunished, so I'm just waiting for my punishment for helping these people. Because that's the way the society go. Due to only being able to take 2 of them at a time, when I took the father and daughter to their hotel, I'd given their son my proper Maglite. I believe I still have it. I got it back. It's just in the back of the car. I was trying to get it for illustrative purpose. Actually, let's make it not just the first, but also the second time I get out for illustrative purposes to get something. First it was snacks, now it's a Maglite. Yeah, anyways, I'd given their son this Maglite just because it's a hella big city, you know. I don't know where they're from precisely, or I've never looked at the place. I've never looked at it on a map or so, even. But I understand how it's a scary situation, particularly when there's 20 people on the other side of the accident, to which you were static, who are perfectly happy and laughing it off, you know. So I've given their son this torch for the time I was driving the dad and the sister to the hotel, just because it's a symbolistic thing, you know. He can hold on to it. It's not like it's going to do any harm in his hands. I mean, unless you shine it at traffic in strobe mode, which your parents quickly told him not to, so that's fine. Before we even left. But it's just this thing, you know. Didn't cost me nothing to lend them to him. Odds are I was going to see him again because I was going to drive them. And it just gave him that peace of mind, something to hold on to, you know. I also given them an umbrella because I thought it was going to start raining, and it did start raining. Little did I realise they were just going to sit locked in the car, because though it's missing windows, it's not running on macOS, it's just missing some windows. It's still a fairly safe thing to be sitting in locked away, you know. And we actually had quite the communication issues because the dad speaks proper German, but he was on the phone quite some. Well, when I say proper, I mean broken, but still, you know, he speaks German. And the mother and daughter speak some English. But besides that, they only speak Czech. Which, embarrassingly enough, I did not look up in the Translate app under Charlie. I looked it up under Tango and Romeo. Romeo because of the Republic of Czechia, and Tango because it's written with Tango in German. I had not realised it was written with Charlie in English. Kind of a lol moment, you know. Anyways, currently my circadian rhythm is pretty screwed, which is why I can be here at 13 to 1 in the AM, halfway across town from where I reside, talking to myself, not worried about being fit enough to drive home. Yesterday, day before yesterday, it was actually yesterday, the true yesterday, so the 7th, I only went to bed at 3 AM and I only fell asleep at 5, you know. Currently my circadian rhythm is pretty screwed, but because I'm working on my thesis film, it don't really matter because I'm not reliant on any outside sources, input or whatsoever for that. I believe next waking phase, actual today, I may have to go grocery shopping depending on how well I sleep overnight. Just because if I sleep badly, I'll go through the last 2 or 3 milks I have. If I sleep well, I won't have one. That's always the question, you know. But I'm currently sitting at 3 milks in the fridge, 3 litres of milk. And that will need fixing. Just because I've already gotten out for illustrative purposes twice. Let me get out again, but first I'll open the driver's side window so I have some connection to this. I'm hoping the audio don't cut out, but I wouldn't actually know. Before I even left my flat today, I actually managed to do some cooking. I only done cooking based on 200 grams of flour for the dough, but I also fried the stuff in the pan after. What I did was Wurschknepp, which is a delicacy from my home region. It's poor people's food, really. It's not a delicacy, but it's really rather fancy. And I took it along for lunch and offered it to these people because I figured, oh, who knows, they're in stress, they might want to eat something. There we go. Hey, leave frame right, enter screen left. Magical. So I've done my meal prep today. I already eaten half of it. There we go. It's noodle dough of Swabian noodles, Spätzle Teig, together with some sausage there, which you usually smoked and boiled sausage, which you buy like that. Fleischwurst. And I've got a fork as well, you know, so yay. I'm actually really happy with how much I managed yesterday/today. Come to think of it, I probably wouldn't have had to put the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. Oh well. About today and tomorrow and yesterday. I did do microdosing yesterday. I microdosed 22 nanograms approximately. And I believe it did help. For I've had a hell of energy all day. I've been rather productive. Ignition and window up because the road is noisy. Oh no! Now the camera's going to come on. I've been hella productive. Hell for cooking. I even need to sharpen my kitchen knife. And you know what? It's not that I just used a blunt one. I actually sharpened it. I've been doing the microdosing on a day on, day off basis. But the past 2 days I had actually taken off. So Tuesday and Monday I'd taken off. Sunday I'd done, and Friday I'd done, I believe. Yeah, so that's something. I reckon I'll keep it on mostly day on, day off. If I get up a bit too late for it to be responsible in my eyes, I might skip a day every now and then. So realistically, I'll end up dosing about thrice a week. And I don't know. I mean, it's not noticeable, really. Surprise, I'm not hallucinating. More than usual, anyways. Haha. Sarcasm. But it just lifts my overall spirit, which very well could be psychosomatic for all purposes I know. I could just have 20 milliliters of water and it have the same effect. But I am the one to put the dose in the water, so I cannot put placebo doses in. And I certainly cannot run a double-blind trial. So I'll just have to highly believe the both eyes open trial, because that's the only one I can do, you know. Today's drink of choice is tap water with a bit of peach Schweppes whatever in it. Yeah, so anyways, when you see someone who needs help, don't be me. Don't first go for a 2k walk and then come to the realization they might need help. Help them right away. Be better than me. That's a challenge. Yay. Yeah, so anyways, I believe I had rather few smokes yesterday, just because the family all do not smoke. The dad stopped about a decade ago, from what I understand. So just about when his wife would have been becoming a mum. There we go. Just about when he would have been becoming a dad, which is fair enough. That line up with many dads I know, timelines of smoking and not smoking. So I only had non-smokers aboard, so I did not smoke a single stretch of driving, though I'd done 3 stretches with people aboard. And since then I've done, well, in between those I've done 1, and since then I've done another 2 without people aboard, I believe. No, since then I've done another 1, and during I've done another 1. So I just ain't smoked that much. And today I did spend a £5 at a petrol station for some chewing gum and Fisherman's Friends. It probably ain't the cheapest place, but I ain't decided on which I want regularly yet. So I am going to have to buy them pack at a time before I figure it out and can buy a stash. Assuming I have the liquidity to buy a stash. Liquidity is a good word, because that is how that family is now screwed. I can't help them with that, sadly. I'd love to be able to give them an indefinite loan and legal support, paying for lawyers also. But realistically, they're just going to have to try and find out how to manage best with... Fuck. The lights are now on the car. Might not be the car I thought it was. It might be further down the road. Oh well. But they're going to have shit liquidity for the moment because, surprise, they were on holiday. They plan on using their car for transportation. They now no longer have any car. I believe they also intend on sleeping in it some nights, because I don't believe they have any other accommodation booked besides this night now. Which is meh, you know. Light not work. Oh well, I guess that's another reason I've been smoking less. I have fewer lighters. My proper light ran out of petrol today and I forgot to tank it in time. Yeah, so don't be like me. Help right away, will you? Thank you very much. Also, thank you very much for sticking around. It truly means the world to me. Thank you, truly. Yeah, so I don't know how I'm going to come down, I guess, because I'm still fairly energetic. I've been moving quite some. Can't look at the kilometres on the watch now because it's the next day. Yay. But apparently my sister was surprised by my evening walk, which is what I've been doing for the recent past. But we've now got an app to compare steps, which I find a bullshit metric anyways. But it's the metric she wanted to compare, so, you know. There we go. It's a step swinging contest. I still haven't any news from my former place of internship in regards to a job offer. I'll either drop by there later today, next waking phase, or tomorrow. That would be Friday. Because next Monday, the Chiefs' holidays start, and they will be on holiday until the time at which I am looking to start a job. Which means if they do not give an offer this week, once I've completed my film and hand it in on Monday, I'll have to update my CV and references and apply for jobs. There we go, that's one hell of a thumbnail. So that's something I'll have to worry about then. Another thing I guess I can update you on is uniform trial. I am rocking the shirt again. I have not laundered it yet. I hadn't sweated in it before. And it smelled good, looked good, so I guess it was good. Now it's meh. I'm going to have to go in the laundry before I can wear it again. Then again, with the laundry, I am going to have to get that out the machine and fold it up sometime. I did manage to bring my rubbish out yesterday. I had a shower today, and I'd done the kitchen today to the point where my kitchen is now presentable, even after I cooked. Which is nice, I guess, you know. Yeah, I do really think, no matter if it's psychosomatic or not, the microdosing do something for me. Because in the past, I don't think I would have managed any one of those 2 things within 3 days. And now I've done 3 things in 2 days, you know. Oh well. Who knows? Perhaps when I get home, I'll fold up my laundry. I don't believe so, but you never know. Uh, Anyways, thank you very much for sticking around watching me talk to myself. This is my substitute for therapy. It means the world to me that someone watched this, so that you watched this. Thank you very much. I hope you're not like me. Hope you help right away. For stay safe. I'll see you around. Cheerio.